Hello, my name is Derek, and welcome to my course on how to sell used books on Amazon with FBA. I will teach you everything you need to know about selling books on the world's largest store, Amazon.com. In this course, you will learn how to create an Amazon seller account, how to source books, how to list books on Amazon.com, how to ship books to Amazon's warehouses, and most importantly, how to make hundreds to thousands in passive income.
Section 1. Why books?
Amazon is the world's largest storefront. From day one, you, as a seller, can list products to sell on Amazon using their platform. You can even compete with Amazon themselves. As a beginner on Amazon, you are restricted from selling on most categories. However, books are always unrestricted. Selling books is how Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, started amassing his fortune and eventually built the company that we see today. You can step right into his shoes from day one. If you master selling books or other unrestricted products, you will eventually be automatically unlocked to sell on other product categories. This is why selling books is a great introduction to selling on Amazon. If you can master the sale of books, you will be more prepared to take advantage of the massive buying season during the winter holidays. Even booksellers will pivot their business model to start selling toys and holiday merchandise during this time of the year to make huge profits. I know what you're saying. Why used books? Books are a great way to start on Amazon because guess what? Books are everywhere. You probably already have a bookcase full of inventory ready to sell. Used books are great because you can buy them very cheap and potentially sell them for a very high price. It's entirely possible to buy a book from a thrift store for 50 cents and resell it for over $20. That may seem small, but that is a 3,900% return on investment. You can't get those kinds of returns on the stock market. You can trade very little time and money for a lot of passive income. When selling books on Amazon, you have two pathways: Merchant Fulfilled, or MFN, or Fulfilled by Amazon, or FBA. With FBA, you send books into Amazon's warehouse and they ship to customers from there. With that pathway, you do not have to deal with customer support or shipping, so many sellers prefer this method of selling books. If you sell items through the FBA pathway, your products will ship to customers from Amazon's warehouse with free 2-day shipping. Customers will pay a higher premium for products sold this way. Since your books will be selling via FBA, you will not encounter competition from merchant sellers. You will be pricing your inventory against other FBA sellers. There is also the potential to work from anywhere. It's entirely possible to travel across the United States while sourcing, listing, and shipping to Amazon. All of your inventory sits in Amazon's warehouse. If you are strapped for time, you can even pay a small fee per book to have Amazon sort and label your inventory for you. However, there are downsides to selling books with FBA. The first downside would be fees. With FBA, you have to pay the inbound shipping fee, monthly storage fees, fulfillment fees, referral fees, which can range anywhere from 6 to 20% based on product category. Booksellers pay about 15% per item. And lastly, a variable closing fee, which will be $1.80 for media products such as books. Next, we have the potential for lost inventory inside of Amazon's warehouse, or on the way to the warehouse. It can also take a while for your inventory to become live on Amazon.com. You may even get split shipments. A split shipment is where Amazon tells you to ship your inventory to 2 different warehouses, and the shipping cost may be more if you have to ship it further out. Lastly, it's harder to make a profit on most books because of all the fees. With selling books through the Merchant Fulfilled pathway, you control the means of shipment. You have complete control over your inventory. You can also be quicker to market with your books because you do not have to ship your books to Amazon, like on the FBA pathway. You are also able to sell way more books because your profit margins will not be eaten up by Amazon's FBA fees. However, like everything, there are some cons to using this process. First, you must pack and ship the items yourself. You must keep the books in your own home, garage, or storage unit. You must prevent the books from getting damaged. You must deal with customer feedback. And you're forced to compete with other mega sellers, who can afford to have dramatically reduced shipping rates and can sell their books for under $5. This course will focus on the FBA pathway. If you are interested in merchant fulfilling books, you can take my other course called How to Merchant Fulfill Books on Amazon, here on Udemy. When selling a book through the FBA pathway, your fee structure will look something like this. Let's take a used book that sells for $14.99. For example, I have to pay the Amazon referral fee of $2.25, a variable closing fee of $1.80, and the FBA fulfillment fee of $2.48. The cost of shipping this book to Amazon's warehouse is approximately 35 cents for a 1-pound book. And this rate is from where I live currently. Your rates may be different depending on which warehouse you're shipping it to. The total fees for this book will be $6.88. Subtracting that from $14.99, we are left with $8.11. Assuming I paid 50 cents for this book, our total profit will be $7.61, and my return on investment will be 1,422%.
Section 2. Getting started.
I know you're dying to get started making money using the FBA pathway. We are first going to create an Amazon seller account. Going forward, you will need these things before you create your account: a valid email address, an address where you want the business to be run from, routing and account numbers for the bank account that payments will be made and received from, an Android or iOS cell phone, your tax ID and social security number, and a state tax ID if you live in a state that has a tax nexus. When you're creating your Amazon seller account, the first major decision you must make is the choice between individual and professional accounts. If you're only looking to get your feet wet, an individual account is perfect for learning the ropes. Amazon will charge a 99 cents per item fee that will be deducted when your book or item sells if you have an individual account. If you plan on selling more than 40 books a month right out of the gate, then you may as well go with a professional account. There is a $39.99 monthly fee for professional accounts. Professional accounts have a great deal of benefits. You are able to upload spreadsheets and feeds that allow you to manage inventory much more easily. You can utilize third-party APIs for things such as inventory management and automatic pricing. You will be eligible for the coveted buy box, which puts your offer front and center ahead of all other sellers. This is a very important factor in whether or not you make the sale. You can also create permissions for multiple users with a professional account. Let's get a quick win. Go to sellercentral.amazon.com and create your seller's account. You can access this page on your cell phone or personal computer.
Section 3. Sourcing books.
Sourcing is another word for finding or procuring products to sell. One thing you will quickly discover is that books are everywhere. You can go into your own personal collection for an initial source to get started fast. Cheap used books are most commonly found at thrift stores such as Goodwill and Salvation Army. Craigslist is also another way to find cheap or free books. Even the dollar store sells books. You cannot sell them as new on Amazon as a new account holder, however. Another great source of cheap used books are library sales. BooksaleFinder.com is a database of all upcoming book sales in the United States. You can search for various sales in your area, but be forewarned. Library sales are very competitive. The most important thing when sourcing books as a beginner is to keep your cost per book as low as possible. When you're learning the ropes, you may make mistakes, and that's okay. When you're buying cheap books, the risks are minimized. Let's go over what types of books sell the most. The highest profit margins when it comes to books are found by selling textbooks. They are typically used over and over by students, and hold their value as long as schools use them. College textbooks have the highest resale value, and only typically peak in value during 2 times of the year, from mid-December to early February for the spring textbook season, and from mid-July to mid-October for the fall textbook season. High school textbooks and teachers' editions of textbooks have high resale value as well, and sell for more money during the fall textbook season. The next most profitable type of books are nonfiction books. Nonfiction books are on subjects such as biography, how-tos, history, self-help, and business. The least valuable books are mass-market paperbacks, such as fiction and romance novels, and children's books. The only exception to the children's books are pop-up books, which tend to have slightly higher resale value.
Section 4. Understanding sales rank.
Amazon wants to sell profitable books. They have developed a system for sellers to use that informs them of a book's value. It is called sales rank. Sales rank is a number from 1 to around 62 million for books. A sales rank of 1 means it is the most popular and fastest selling book on Amazon. The higher the sales rank, the less popular it is, and the less likely it is to sell. We want low sales rank books. Other product categories have significantly smaller sales rank ranges. The book category happens to be the largest category. That's why there are over 62 million entries for them in Amazon's database. For training purposes and to get some quick wins, try not to sell any book with a sales rank of 1.2 million or higher. A 1.2 million rank book is a book that is within the top 3% of the most popular books on Amazon. One thing about sales rank that is most important to know is that it does not stay static. A book can be ranked at 1 million, and when a person buys the book, its sales rank will drop immediately to 100,000. The longer the book goes without selling, the higher and higher the rank will be over time. There are third-party softwares that will show you sales rank analytics over time, but they will cost a monthly fee. If you are a professional seller on Amazon, it is highly recommended to pay for sales rank tracking software. I will go over these types of software in my next course.
Section 5. Pricing.
This is a good time to talk about pricing, as this will inform your buying decisions. Only you can decide what level of profit you are comfortable with. Some FBA sellers may sell bulk loads of books per day and can accept slightly lower profits per book because they are saving on bulk shipping rates by shipping many books to Amazon at once, and are happy to make $2.50 per book if they can process hundreds per week. If the low margin, fast moving strategy seems like too much work, you can do what many resellers do, which is to hold out for books that have higher resale value but are a little bit harder to come by. It is absolutely imperative that you always factor in your cost of doing business. When figuring out your pricing, always know what the cumulative cost of shipping and packaging are, in addition to your buy cost. As a new seller, always strive to get a 50% return on investment at an absolute minimum, after your costs have been taken into account. When you are scanning for books using the Amazon Seller app, which we will cover in the next section, always check against the low used FBA price. If you want your product to sell before or soon after the lowest price seller sells their book, you want to either match their price or come in 1 cent lower than their price. This will prevent a race to the bottom caused by automatic repricing programs.
Section 6. Scanning.
So in order for us to scan, we have to download the Amazon Seller app. Go to your phone's app downloading service and search for Amazon Seller app. It should take you to a page similar to this. Now I've already downloaded the program, so I'm going to click Open. It's going to take you to a page similar to this. So in order to scan books, we have to open up the phone's camera. So at the top right, you're going to click that camera icon, and it's going to open the phone's camera. Now we can see that the camera is open now. Now the way that this app works, you can either point the camera to the book's barcode, or you can simply scan the front of the book. So we're going to try just scanning the front of the book. And we've got a few options here. Now the front of our book has yellow writing on it, and none of these have yellow writing. So we're going to scroll down to the book that we have. So it's going to actually be this book right here. Now if we look, it says that the sales rank is 1,045,000, which is pretty good. So since this is the book that we have, we're going to click this option. Okay, so it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Now we can see that this is the appropriate book, and we have our prices here. On this first row, this is going to be the merchant price, the low merchant price, and the second one is going to be the low FBA price. And we can see that the low FBA price is going to be $19.99. And if you scroll down, you can see if you are eligible to actually sell this book, and we are. So if we click Selling Eligibility, we can see that we are allowed to sell this as new, used, or collectible. Now the book that I have is not quite new. It's very good, or like new condition. So that's how you would scan a book to see what the sales rank is. Now to complete the rest of this process, we're going to have to actually go to Amazon Seller Central on the desktop, and we're going to utilize our scanner to complete the process. There are third-party scanning applications that will increase the efficiency of your scanning process. You may need to also invest in a Bluetooth scanner to use along with your phone. These and many more professional level tips will be covered in my next course. To get another quick win, go sourcing until you come across a few books that are ranked under 1.2 million. Next, we will talk about how to ensure that your books are of a quality that customers will accept.
Section 7. Condition Quality.
As an FBA seller on Amazon, you do not need to worry about customer support. However, customers will still demand refunds in certain cases. When a customer issues a refund order, it will deduct the cost of the book from your Amazon seller account balance. Most customer complaints are due to two things: the package not arriving on time and the quality of the book. With FBA, Amazon handles shipping, so that is handled for us. The next most important issue is condition quality, and that is fully within our control. The quality standard for a new book looks like this: a brand new copy with cover and original protective wrapping intact, books with markings of any kind on the cover or pages, books marked as bargain or remainder, or with any other labels attached may not be listed as new. Always make sure that you're not restricted in selling a book in new condition. As a general rule, new sellers tend not to be able to sell new books, but it doesn't hurt to check. For used, like new condition, the item may have minor cosmetic defects, such as marks, wears, cuts, bends, or crushes on the cover, spine, pages, or dust cover. Dust cover is intact and pages are clean and not marred by notes. Item may contain remainder marks on the outside edges. Item may be missing bundled media. For the used, very good condition, item may have minor cosmetic defects such as marks, wears, cuts, bends, or crushes on the cover, spine, pages, or dust cover. Shrink wrap, dust covers, or box set cases may be missing. Item may contain remainder marks on the outside edges, which should be noted in listing comments. Item may be missing bundled media, such as CDs. For the used good condition, all pages and cover are intact, including the dust cover if applicable. Spine may show signs of wear. Pages may include limited notes and highlighting. May include from the library of type labels. Shrink wrap, dust covers, and box set case may be missing. Item may be missing bundled media. For the used acceptable condition, all pages and cover are intact, but shrink wrap, dust covers, or box set case may be missing. Pages may include limited notes, highlighting, or minor water damage, but the text is readable. Item may be missing bundled media. Amazon lists this as unacceptable quality. Books that have missing pages or obscured or unreadable text. They also do not permit the sale of advanced reading copies including uncorrected proofs of in-print or not yet published books. Do not sell unacceptable books. With FBA, condition quality matters a great deal, so always keep the condition quality standards in mind when sourcing books. Customers will be paying a slightly higher premium for the books listed on Amazon Prime, or FBA. So make sure that when you list a book, you are certain of the quality condition before you ship it to Amazon. You cannot change the condition level after it has been shipped. When comparing apples to apples, customers will buy the lowest priced book within a condition quality. So if you're listing a book as like new, and it has highlighting on some of the pages, you may get negative feedback from a customer. Buyers may not know the actual condition guidelines themselves when they buy books, and their idea of very good may not match up to what Amazon says it is. If they see even the slightest water damage, they will demand a refund or take it up with Amazon customer service, which may potentially lower your seller rating. If a book has highlighting or underlining or a crease on the cover, or even the slightest amount of water damage, I would list the book as acceptable and write in the product notes exactly what's off about the book. Books that are in better condition than acceptable should be compared to the condition guidelines and labeled accordingly before shipment. Also, make sure that before you purchase the books you want to sell, you do a condition check. I flip through every single page of the book quickly to spot any condition issues before I leave the sourcing location. My suggestion, in order to keep negative customer feedback low, is to automatically throw back books that have any of these. Water damage of any sort. If it is a profitable book and the damage is minimal, sell as acceptable and leave a note about its condition. Stains on the cover or page edges that cannot be cleaned off. Torn covers or missing pages. Uncorrected proof copies. Crushed books. A crushed book is when the cover and pages will be curved. And excessive writing.
Section 8. Preparing for shipment.
To successfully send off an FBA shipment, it will require supplies. Here's a list of items that you'll need. A digital scale. An inkjet, laserjet, or thermal printer. Ink or toner for the printer that you have. Print and peel paper for shipping labels. 2 5/8 by 1 inch Avery type labels for your printer. The total cost of supplies will vary. Utilize thrift stores or online sources to get a cheap printer or scale. Buying supplies in bulk dramatically reduces the per book cost of shipping and is recommended to buy printable labels in bulk of 500 or more at a time. Before you start your FBA shipment, make sure that you go through each book. You can do this as you list, and remove any leftover items from the previous owner, such as bookmarks and receipts. You might even be lucky enough to find money in the book. If there are any blemishes on the cover, make sure that those are cleaned. Isopropyl alcohol will remove grime quickly and dry just as fast, which is why professional sellers prefer this to using water. Products such as Goo Gone will remove stubborn stickiness from removed labels. Just make sure to follow up with alcohol to remove the oils from the Goo Gone. If there are multiple barcodes on the back of the book, from a formal rental or library book, make sure that you cover those with a blank Avery type label or another easily removable sticker. You will be covering the main barcode with your printed FBA label. Lastly, perform one last check for water damage, missing pages, or leftover items before you list the book, and adjust the condition quality as needed. Okay, so to start our FBA shipment, we're going to go to Amazon Seller Central. And at the top left, we're going to go to Manage FBA Inventory and click that. Now, the first thing that we have to do, we have to actually scan our books into the system before we can ship them to Amazon. So, over to the right here, we're going to click Add a Product. And this is where we can use our scanner, if you have one. You can type in an ISBN or the title of the book manually. I'm just going to use my scanner to make this quick. And I'm going to scan my book. It's going to automatically input the ISBN. Now this is the book that I want to sell. We're going to go over to the right and we're going to select a condition. And we're going to click Used. And then we're going to click Sell Product. Now, if you wanted to see if you were restricted from selling this book, you could just click this. Now, we're not going to be selling this in refurbished condition, so we're fine to sell this book. So we're going to click Sell this product. Now, we can see the listing for this book. We can see that the buy box price is $12.66. And that is for a new copy. We can see that here. If you want to see some of the other prime listings, you can click this to get a better idea of what this book is selling for. We're going to scroll down. This first option here for seller SKU, you can input your own serial number. That'll make it easier for you to remember what book this is. If you leave it blank, Amazon will automatically input a value here. So I'm going to leave it blank. Now, my price, I'm going to actually set this as $14. The quantity is 1 because I only have one of these. The condition, we're going to click this and we're going to find used good. Now it's going to bring up these two offer images. You can leave this blank and it's going to default to the listing picture up here. If you wanted to add other images for your specific listing, you can. Nobody really does that. So we're just going to leave these blank. So we're going to scroll down to the bottom. And we see here the fulfillment channel. Now we're going to be shipping our books to Amazon, so we don't want to have this one checked here, the merchant fulfilled option. We want to leave that blank, and we want to make sure that the second option, fulfilled by Amazon, is clicked. And then after that, we're going to click Save. And it says that thank you for submitting suggestions. If approved, the detail page will reflect your improvements in 15 minutes. We'll click Done. Now it's going to tell you that you need to basically provide an Amazon barcode. And if you hover over this, it'll tell you precisely why. Okay, so you can just click Save and Continue. That's fine. Now it may take you to this secondary page here. And if you look over here where it says required information, if there is anything additional that you need to make sure that you add to this listing, it's going to ask you right here. So we're going to click this, and it's just going to ask you battery information. So Amazon doesn't really know what this item is particularly. It thinks that it might have a battery in it. Now, we know that it doesn't because it's a book. So we're going to click no, it does not have a battery. Or it's not a battery itself. The second thing here, product regulation information. Is the product considered a dangerous good or hazardous material? No, it's just a book. So we're going to say no. And then we're going to click submit. It may or may not ask you that when you list books. Okay, so once that's out of the way, we're going to click Save and Continue. And it's going to redirect you to a shipping plan page. We're going to actually be packing these in a single box. There's going to be individual products or individual books in a single box. So we're going to click Continue to Shipping Plan. And it's going to start a shipping plan. So we can see that we have our address here. You can change the shipping address if you like. Now, right here, we have only one book in our shipping plan. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually keep this like this. I would not click Add Products. We're going to leave that alone, and we're going to go back over to Inventory. And we're going to go back to Manage FBA Inventory. So I have a few books that I've already input into the system this way. Now we're going to go and get the rest of the books for our shipment. So I have these three other books here. So we're going to add these to our shipment. So we're going to make sure that these are selected, and we're going to click right here where it says Action on 3. And we're going to say Send/Replenish Inventory. So the way it works, if you're going to use the manual method using Amazon Seller Central, you have to actually input the books one at a time first. So once you upload them, it's going to say that the status is inactive, and it's going to stay as inactive until you actually send it to Amazon's warehouse. So once we've selected the books that we want to send to Amazon, we're going to click Yes, Continue. And it's going to ask you, do you want to make a brand new shipping plan, or do you want to add these books to an existing shipping plan? So we're going to say we're going to add it to an existing one. We're going to add it to the one that we just created. So it's going to have this little option here. We're going to click this, and we're going to click this option right here. And we're going to add these to the shipment that we started earlier. And if you notice, we have the book that we listed first here, right here, plus our other 3 books. So before we can continue, we have to make sure that we input how many units are in the box per each one of these books. And there's only one for each book. So we're going to click the field here. We're going to press 1. We're going to put 1 here, and 1 here. There's only 4 total books. So next we're going to click Continue. So it's going to take you to this page here where we have to prepare the products. So preparation in regards to Amazon just has to do with who's going to be labeling these books. Now we're going to actually be labeling these ourselves. So we're going to go over right here where it says Who Preps, and we're going to click Merchant. And the merchant would be us in this instance. It doesn't mean that we're going to sell these merchant fulfilled. It just means that we're going to label these. Then we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and we're going to click Continue. So on this page, we have the label products section. So we've already mentioned that we're going to be labeling these. So it's automatically applied that the merchant, which is us, is going to be labeling these. Now here's where we can select our presets as far as how many labels we want on one sheet. So I'm just going to leave this one, the default template selected, and we're going to click Print Labels. And it's going to save it to a PDF file. And this you can print however you wish to print. However your printer settings are set up, you can print them that way. Now if you use Avery labels, you can just simply print these out of a regular inkjet printer, and these individual barcodes will be printed directly onto the individual labels themselves. And then once they're printed, you can just peel these off and place them on your books, and that will count as being prepped. So after you've printed your labels, we're going to click Continue. Now on the next page, we have the Review Shipments page here. Now we can see that we are going to be creating this new shipment, which is called FBA. It's going to give you the time and date. We're going to be shipping off 4 units, and they want us to ship it to ONT8, which is Moreno Valley, California. You can view contents if you like. Now what we're going to do, we're going to actually approve this shipment, and we're going to click Continue. On this next page, it's going to tell you what the shipment ID is, specifically how many units and where exactly you're going to be shipping it to. So now we're going to have to click Work on Shipment. Now on the Prepare Shipment page, it's going to give you all the different options as far as how you can ship this shipment. By default, it's going to select Small Parcel Delivery, which is small individual boxes. And by default, it's going to select UPS. Now you're going to usually be going with UPS. I always just leave it just the way it is. And I only ever use small boxes to ship with UPS. You can use another carrier if you like, but we're going to keep it with UPS. And we're going to scroll down, and where it says, how will the shipment be packed? We're going to say everything is going to be in one box. So I have 4 books. They're all going to go in one box. So here is where we'll be inputting our box weight. Now this is where our scale will come in handy. We are going to actually put our books inside of our box, and we're going to put the box on the scale, and whatever value you get, we're going to be inputting that here. So we know our box weight is going to be 3 pounds, and the particular box that I'm using is going to be a 6 by 6 by 12 box. Okay, then we're going to confirm, and it's going to be calculating our shipping charges. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and under section 4 here, shipping charges, we're going to click calculate, and it's going to estimate our shipping cost. So we're going to agree to the terms and conditions, and we're going to accept these charges for this particular shipment. And this cost is going to be charged to your Amazon account balance. Okay, so once you have accepted the charges, we're going to have to print our box labels. And once you click print box labels, it's going to open a window, or it may just automatically download a PDF file where you would just print off your shipping labels. Now you can print them on your peel and stick labels, or you can print them on just a regular piece of paper, and just make sure that you tape completely over the actual paper when you do place it on your box. That way it doesn't peel off. And once you've done that, you're going to actually click Complete Shipment. So once you've completed the shipment, all that's left to do is make sure that you drop off the package with UPS.
Section 9. Shipping.
So this is me completing my FBA shipment. Now I have my labels that I printed using my Dymo thermal printer, and I'm taking each of the Avery type labels and I'm placing it directly over the existing barcode. And you want to make sure that you're completely covering it up. And I'm just making sure that I cover it completely. And I'm setting it aside in its own separate pile. Now this particular shipment, it's 2 separate shipments that I'm sending to 2 separate warehouses. And if you notice this book here, it has a label with 2 separate barcodes on it. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually take a blank label, which I have a few here. So I'm just going to peel it off and I'm going to cover that other barcode. Just going to place it directly over that. Once the customer gets the book, they can just peel that off if they like. And I'm going to take my actual FN Amazon barcode. I'm going to place it directly over the regular barcode. And I believe this is the last book for this particular shipment. So the total amount of books was 7 books for one and about 50 books for the other shipment. Now, if you notice, I've got my Walmart box here. This is a small size box. Sometimes you can get away with an extra small box. So you notice I'm double taping the bottom, and I'm actually taping along the outside edges as well. And that's just to prevent the box from tearing open. And it adds a little bit more protection from water damage. And I'm just stacking my books right in the middle here. And I'm using some craft paper and I'm just filling in the empty spaces in between where the books are and the side of the box. And this is just to prevent it from kind of rattling around. So next, after I filled it up, I'm going to take a measurement as far as how heavy the box is. And I do make a mental note of the weight. Okay, so I have my labels here. So these are peel and stick labels. So 1/2 goes on one half of the flap there, and the other goes on the other. When preparing an FBA shipment, you want to make the most out of the discounted shipping costs. Amazon has dramatically reduced rates for shipping through UPS and FedEx. My suggestion is to wait until you have at least 45 pounds of books before you create a shipping plan. The reason for this is that the price to ship does not increase exponentially with the total weight of the shipment. It is entirely possible to ship 80 pounds of books to Amazon for $15. Amazon does have limits on how heavy an individual box can be within a shipment. You must not exceed 50 pounds per individual box. Small or extra small boxes can be purchased at Home Depot or Walmart and can easily hold 50 pounds of books. Also, if your book is anywhere near maximum capacity as far as weight, add more tape to the bottom of the box to prevent the box from opening up. If there is empty space around the books after you're done filling the box, use crumpled up paper or another type of void fill to fill that space. This will prevent damage to the books while they are being transferred to Amazon's warehouse. When labeling your boxes, place each half of the printable label on each flap. The reason for this is to prevent Amazon workers from cutting through the label when they unbox your shipment. They need to be able to scan and rescan boxes even after they have been opened up.
Section 10. Payment.
Amazon will disperse payments every 2 weeks for new sellers. Some experienced sellers have gained the ability to cash out their Amazon funds every day. As a new seller, our disbursements are limited to every 14 days. Amazon will hold funds back if there are any pending product sales, fees, refunds, chargebacks, or A to Z guarantee claims. So if you want to find out what your Amazon account balance is, we're going to go to the main page of Amazon Seller Central. And over to the top right, you're going to see a payment summary. And we're just going to click Payment Summary. So on this page, you're going to see the statement view. And this is a breakdown of all the product charges and Amazon fees. And towards the bottom, you can actually see the amount that they will be transferring to you. New Amazon sellers will be dispersed every 2 weeks. That's assuming you have a positive closing balance. So if you scroll up here, at the top of the page, you can see the amount that's scheduled to be dispersed during the next pay period. This request transfer button, just leave this alone. I'm going to go over exactly why you don't want to push this button. You can look at previous balances if you click this. We've got the beginning balance. So whatever was an unavailable balance from the last pay period, it's going to roll over to this current pay period. Next we have the product charges. So this is what the funds that are positive, so all the book sales that we've done, that's going to appear here as far as the actual profit amount. There are promo rebates, things that Amazon will use to boost your listing. They're going to charge you a little bit for that in order to make the sale. Amazon fees. So these are the fulfillment by Amazon fees, the referral fees. That's the accumulation here. Any shipping or gift wrap credits, like if the buyer pays for gift wrapping, they're going to actually reimburse you for that. Refunds, if you have any books that are sent back for whatever reason, they're going to charge your account. If you do merchant fulfilling and you purchase Amazon shipping services, it's going to reduce that from your account here. And just other FBA selling fees here. So we can see our closing balance right here, and then the unavailable balance. So this unavailable balance, which I'll go over later, it just has to do with funds that are withheld because of just in case there needs to be any chargebacks, or in case there are any A to Z guarantee claims. Amazon can use that money to reimburse the customer. And at the bottom, we can see the actual amount that's scheduled to disperse on the next pay period. And this doesn't stay fixed every day. Assuming you're selling books, it's going to be increasing. And then on the last day of the pay period, it will disperse whatever amount is here within 3 to 5 business days. On the payment page, the request transfer button should not be pressed. It may be tempting to press this button, but don't do it. It may potentially transfer any available balance within 3 to 5 days, but it will push your natural disbursement day forward by 2 weeks. This can potentially ruin your cash flow and prevent you from buying inventory to sell. There are conflicting reports of how this button can be used. For new sellers, my recommendation is to leave it alone. Be careful. It probably goes without saying, but once you master the process of selling used books, the same skill will transfer to the sale of other items. Most new sellers are restricted in these categories. If it isn't on this list, chances are you can probably sell it, but make sure that you aren't restricted. During the holiday season, the sale of toys surges, and it is possible to make a large chunk of your yearly sales during the last 4 weeks of the year, after Thanksgiving. You can ship toys directly to customers from your house using merchant fulfillment or through FBA. With merchant fulfilling, which I cover in my other course, you can list and sell the toys in the store you're buying them from. Sometimes your item will sell even before you leave the store. There is much more to look forward to other than books using the FBA or merchant fulfillment method. Thank you for taking my course.